morning, everyone. My name's Joella. Thanks for joining me for a little bit of yoga this morning. If you haven't taken my class before, I kind of flow through some postures, pausing in them for a few breaths, really focusing on alignment and muscular engagement. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. A few things before we get started. Please make sure that, as always, that you're listening to your body. So if anything doesn't feel right to you, if you just aren't feeling like you want to practice some of these postures today, that's totally fine. Listen to your body. Take rest as you need it. Feel free to sit down, find child's pose, downward facing dog, whenever you need. And as always, please make sure that you've consulted with a doctor before starting a new exercise routine. So we're going to start laying down on our backs in a Shavasana position. So just find a comfy spot where we can just pause for a few moments here before we really get moving. If it's not comfortable for you to be completely laying down on your back, you can bend your knees, plant your feet flat to the floor. Go ahead, and if it feels right, you can close your eyes. And just begin to bring your awareness to your body and to your breath. Not really trying to change anything yet, but just noticing how it feels. Notice if anywhere is particularly tight or maybe tired, maybe you're feeling really energized or really great today. Just be aware of how you're feeling as we move through our practice. Taking a nice deep inhale here through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out your mouth. And again, in. Sighing it out. Nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Now beginning to breathe just in and out your nose. If that's uncomfortable for you today, you can breathe through your mouth. It's just important that you breathe. But if you can, try and breathe through your nose. It makes your breath a little more focused, and it helps in heating your body. So exhale out all of the air that you have in your lungs right now. And then take a nice deep inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. In, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. In, 5, 4, 3, 2. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2. Continuing this on your own. Nice, deep, equal breathing. Inhales and exhales at the same length. And we'll keep this in mind as we move through our practice, making sure that we still have this nice, deep, even inhales and exhales in each of our postures. On your next inhale, hugging your knees into your chest for Apanasana. You can gently open your eyes and rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Inhale here, exhale, release your left leg down your mat, toes and knees pointed up to the sky, engaging your quadriceps, inner thigh reaching down towards the floor, hugging your right knee in. Inhale here. And exhale, switch. Right leg extends, left leg hugs in, toes and knees pointing up to the sky. That right leg, inner thigh wrapping down. Lifting your hip points up toward your low ribs. Inhale here, exhale, switch. Again, inhale here. Exhale, switch. Inhale here. Exhale, switch. Last one, inhale. Exhale, switch. Taking this up a notch, you can interlace your hands behind your head. We're going to lift that bottom leg off the floor about an inch and lift your shoulders up about an inch. So we're going to exhale, twisting to the left, elbow towards your knee, but still wide out. So maybe more thinking of your shoulder lifting towards that knee. Inhale here, exhale, switch. Inhale here, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Moving nice and slow and controlled. Say hello, Rory. It's my cat. Exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale. Last time. Switch. Go ahead, release, hug your knees into your chest, Abhinasana. Gently rocking from side to side. Go ahead, plant your feet flat to the floor, parallel to each other, heels right underneath of your knees. We're going to exhale here, inhale, lifting your hips towards the sky, pressing evenly through your feet. Imagine like you had a block between your knees, so your knees are right out from your hips. They're not opening out to the side or squeezing together. Lifting through your quads, tailbone lengthening down. Front hip points lifting toward your low ribs, back ribs lifting away from your sacrum. Pressing through the backs of your arms. One more breath. Exhale, lower your hips down towards the floor. Just gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side, releasing your low back. Coming into happy baby. So bringing your knees towards your shoulders, so a little wider, and then reaching your hands out for the outer edges of your feet. You can gently rock from side to side here. If it doesn't feel right to reach up for your feet or you can't quite reach, that's okay. You can just grab the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, but trying to keep your sacrum on the floor, your low back, just above your bum. Almost like you were going to stand on the ceiling and your feet are straight up. One more breath. Go ahead, release your feet, hug your knees back into your chest. Begin to rock forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2. This last one either coming up and over or maybe just swinging your legs around to the side and coming up, meeting on all fours. Wrists right underneath of your shoulders, knees right underneath of your hips, nice neutral spine. We're going to inhale forward for cow, dropping your belly button towards the floor, lifting your tailbone up, collarbone broadens. Exhale, chin to chest, belly button to spine, tailbone lengthens down towards the back of your knees. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Remember those nice, long, even breaths we had earlier? Think of the same thing. Moving into cow for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhaling into cat for 5, 4, 3, 2. Same thing. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Coming back onto all fours, nice neutral spine. We're going to add a little bit to that. So let's walk our hands forward about 1 hand space so that the back of your hand is now where your fingertips just were. Really think of your outer upper arm, your triceps wrapping in. We're going to inhale forward, exhale chaturanga. Oops, I moved my hands too far. Exhale chaturanga, shoulders come forward. Inhale, press up through all fours. Exhale back, rounding through your spine, coming into child's pose. Inhale through neutral spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, child's pose. Nice and slow, moving at your own pace. Do this about 3 more times. Outer upper arms wrapping in. So they're brushing the sides of your ribs. Inhaling, moving through your neutral spine. Exhaling, chaturanga. Pressing through your hands, coming back through all fours. Sinking back. Last one. All right, this next time as we come forward, going down through chaturanga, we're gonna lower all the way to the floor. Scooching back if you need to. Wrist creases right underneath of your elbows. Exhale here, pressing down through the tops of your feet, lifting your quads up, lengthening your tailbone down towards your heels. Exhale here, inhale, chest, shoulders, lift for just a baby cobra. So your low ribs are staying on the floor. Exhale, lower down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Last time, pressing through the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. All right, so you can stay right where we just were, or we're gonna take it up to upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Hands right underneath of your elbows, pressing down through the tops of your feet, really lifting up on your quads, hip points lifting up towards your low ribs. Exhale here, inhale, push through your hands. Only your hands and the tops of your feet are on the ground. Your sternum, your chest is broadening, pulling through your arms. Breathing here. We're going to tuck our toes under. Think of your front hip points lifting up towards your low ribs. Pulling your belly in, coming back through plank. Pausing here. Hips are parallel to the ground. You can put your knees down. We're going to inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Outer arms wrapping in. You maybe put your knees down if you need to. Pressing through your arms, coming back up to plank. This time lifting through your inner thighs, coming up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hands are shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider. Wrist creases are parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of our mat. Heels are lifted right behind our second toe, reaching back towards the floor, but not at the expense of our hamstrings. We're finding length through our spine. So a little bend in your knees, reaching your sits bones, your tailbone, up to where the wall and ceiling meet behind you. One more breath here. The bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands, and just walk your feet forward. So you're in a forward fold at the top of your mat. You can clasp opposite elbows, a little bend in your knees here. Gently rock from side to side. Releasing your hands. Ardha Uttanasana. Halfway lift, shoulder blades gently pull together. You can put your hands to your shins or your knees, but nice long through your spine. Then exhale, lower down. Two more times, flowing with your breath. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Again, in 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. This time standing all the way up, sweeping your arms forward and up. Urdhva Hastasana. Palms face together, outer arms wrapping in. Tailbone lengthening down. Breathing here. Finding muscle engagement in your legs. So lifting up on your quads. Inner thighs reach back. And on your exhale, bringing your hands down to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Step up just to the top of your mat. Feet hips distance apart, parallel to each other. So again, your ankle is, or your heel is right behind your second toe. So staying up here, lift up on your kneecaps, engaging your quads, tailbone lengthening down. Hands just come to your side. Maybe close your eyes here for a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Beginning our Surya Namaskar A, inhale, arms forward and up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping back, plank. Lowering chaturanga, outer arms wrap in. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for a few breaths. Really finding length in your spine. Triceps wrapping in towards your face. The bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands. Walk step, maybe float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga, maybe hop back, landing with bent elbows. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. And breathe. Two more breaths. At the bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. This time, right back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or float, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, lifting up from your inner thighs, downward facing dog, and breathe. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, maybe float up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. All right, let's go to face the long edge of our mat. Open, stepping your legs wide. Feet can be slightly turned out here. Bringing our hands to our hips. Inhale, standing up nice and tall. Exhale, goddess pose. So just hips lower straight down, lifting from your inner thighs, knees pointed right out over our second toe, so you can see your big toes just to the inside of your knees. Inhale, arms up like a goalpost. Nice and powerful stance here. And breathe. Inhale, straightening your arms and your legs up like a star. Exhale, down. Again, thinking of that breath. 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2. Down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. One more breath here. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, release your hands down to your hips. Parallel your feet. So they're parallel to each other in the short edges of your mat. About as wide as right underneath of your wrist, but if that feels too wide or it causes any stress in your knees, you can bring them in a little bit. Taking a wide-legged forward fold here. We're going to start with our hands on our hips. Sitting up nice and tall, pressing through all 4 corners of our feet, lifting up on your quads. You're going to inhale here, and exhale, begin to hinge forward. Movement's coming from our pelvis, like it's jumping forward like it was a bowl of soup or something. Breathing here. About halfway down. Weight comes a little more forward into the balls of your feet so that your outer hip is right over top of your ankles. Knees can be a little bit bent here. One more breath, and exhale, lowering down. Hands can just come to the floor wherever they reach. Legs are still engaged here. You can think of your sits bones, the little bony protrusions at the bottom of your bum, pulling together. That's going to protect where your hamstring attaches, keeping that muscle engagement there. One more breath. Go ahead, bring your hands back up to your hips, elbows pointing up towards the sky. Inhale, pressing through your feet, lifting through your quads, standing all the way up. Go ahead and heel toe your feet back together and come back up to the top of your mat. Feet hips distance apart, standing in Tadasana. Inhaling your arms forward and up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So option to flow through your vinyasa or skip it. Pausing here in downward facing dog for a moment. I want you to put your focus into your hands. So here, I'm going to come down and show you something, but you should stay in downward dog. Your hand, if you think about it, your palm, you can draw a circle around it. It's sort of like cupped, almost like a suction cup. So the center of your palm doesn't touch the ground if you put your hands down. And then you can kind of from there, think of gripping with your fingers. So as you're in your downward facing dog, press down through your hands, maybe a little more to your thumb and your finger, but think of that like suction cup in the center, like you're gripping the floor with your fingers. So that'll come in handy later. Take one more breath here. And we're gonna inhale our left leg up and back, or excuse me, right leg up and back for three-legged dog. Just to hip height for now, toes and knees pointed down towards the floor. Inhale here, exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Shoulders come over your wrists. Inhale, bring it back. Again, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. Last time, inhale, or exhale, knee to nose. This time, stepping it through the inside of your right fingertip. Heel toeing your left foot to the midline, spinning your right foot, spinning your left heel down. Inhale up, warrior two. That front knee is right over top of your ankle. You're lined up heel to arch here. Your whole back leg is spinning in. So your toes and knees are pointing up to the top left corner. Front hip points lifting up away from your thigh bones toward your low ribs. And see, I don't know if you can see on the video, but we want this front hip lifting away from that front thigh. We have a tendency of letting it drop down, but we want our hips to be sort of level with each other on that plane. It's the coronal plane if you're interested. Another breath here. Inhaling here, exhale, reaching your right fingertips towards the right wall. Again, your pelvis now is tilting forward, so now your tailbone's lengthening towards that back foot. Bring your elbow down to your knee. Left hand comes up and over. Again, wrapping your outer arm in, so tricep moving in towards your face. For side angle, you can look up under that top hand, keeping your back leg engaged so that thigh is pressing up into your thigh bone. And then keeping space between the bottom, your right rib cage, and the right hip. So you have equal length on both sides of your torso. Go ahead, inhale your arm back up. Let's go ahead and bring that left hand to our hip. We're gonna look down towards our right foot. Hi, Artemis. Extend your right hand towards the floor. Think of it going about a foot out from your pinky toe. We're going to press down through this right foot, coming into half moon. You can step that back foot in, or bring it right up to hip height. So your toe and knee of that left foot are pointing towards the side wall. Keeping that bottom leg engaged, lifting up on your quad. You can lift your top hand toward the sky. Breathe here. Maybe looking up towards your top hand. One more breath. Slowly bending that front knee, reaching back, coming right back into side angle. One more breath here. Inhale up, warrior two. Exhale, hands come down either side of that right foot. Let's step it back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Again, noticing your hands, your wrist creases are parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. You can peek up at them. And then using your hand like a suction cup so that outer circle of your palm is touching the floor. And you're gripping with your fingers. Outer upper arms wrapping in. All right, lifting our left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Toes and knees pointing down, outer hips hugging in. Inhale here, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Shoulders coming over your wrists. Inhale, extend. Last time, exhale, knee to nose. Set it down to the inside of that left thumb. Heel toeing your left foot over to the midline, spinning your right heel down. So you're lined up heel to arch. Inhale up, warrior two. So pressing down through all four corners of that front foot, maybe a little more into the left big toe mound. Inner left thigh moving over towards the left as you lift up from that inner thigh. Your back leg pressing down to the outer edge of your back foot. Inner thigh here is lifting up and back, so you're pressing that quad into your thigh bone. Hip points lifting up and away. Tailbone lengthens down towards the floor. Arms come out to a T. One more breath here. Exhale, tilting your pelvis forward as your left hand reaches towards the wall, pressing your elbow down to your left leg. Right hand comes up and over. Outer upper arm wrapping in like you're closing off that armpit. Tailbone's now lengthening towards that back heel. Breathing here. Again, maintaining length through both sides of your body. So it's not about how far you can bring down this hand. You want to maintain the length through your spine. You can look up under that top arm, keeping the back leg engaged. One more breath. Inhale, right hand towards the sky, bringing your right hand towards your hip. Left hand is going to reach out in front of you, aiming for a foot or so in front of that pinky toe. Lifting up through your left quad, come forward, reach your right leg up to hip height. Toes and knees pointing towards the side wall. That outer left glute cheek is still engaged, still wrapping under. Right hand can move up towards the sky. You can stay right here or begin to look up towards that top hand. It's a little trickier for your balance. Whoop. All right, one more breath. Bringing your top hand back to your hip, stepping your right foot back towards the back of your mat, back into side angle. Holding here for a breath. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, stepping down, downward facing dog. Breathing here. One more breath. The bottom of your exhale looking towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Come back to face the, well actually you could do this facing the other way. I'm gonna face you so you can actually look at me. But we're gonna step our feet, not quite as wide as we did for our goddess pose, but wider than hips distance. Toes can point slightly out. We're gonna come down into a Malasana yogi squat. So just gently lowering your hips down towards the floor, straight down. So you're gonna press evenly through all four corners of your feet here. If you have any knee issues, I would not recommend bringing your hips lower than your knees. You can stay in our goddess pose like we did before. But if you don't have any knee issues and this feels okay to do in your body, coming down to Malasana squat. Hands can come together. Elbows come to the inner knees or inner thighs. Trying to find length through your spine here. So pressing down through your feet, thinking of your collarbone broadening, your tailbone lengthening back. Breathing here. One more breath. Bring your hands down to the floor, press through your feet, lifting your hips up. You can parallel your feet for a forward fold, feet a little bit wider than hips distance. Bringing your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up. Inhale, staying all the way up. We'll come back to the top of our mat. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hips sink back, weight in our heels, Utkatasana, chair pose. So arms nice and long, straight, outer upper arms wrapping in, triceps pulling in, like you're closing off your armpit, so you're not having it open, but closed. One more breath here. And on your exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, wrapping your arms in so they're staying right by your ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Lifting your front hip points up towards your low ribs. Lifting from your inner thighs, up and back, downward facing dog. This time, we're gonna step our right foot to the inside of our right thumb, spinning your left foot down, the hips distance apart, so not like warrior two. Inhaling up, warrior one. So pressing through the outer edge of that back foot, but spinning that left thigh in, lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your hip points up. Arms nice and straight. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down to either side of that right foot, stepping it back, plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog, hips up and back, downward dog. Left foot steps forward inside of that left thumb, spinning your right heel down, hips distance apart but spread out. That right thigh is spinning up. Inhale, arms forward and up, pressing to the outer edge of that back foot. Right thigh spinning in, tailbone lengthening down, front knee bent right over top of our ankle, pressing through the left toe, big mound, but lifting up on the left inner thigh. One more breath. Exhale, hands down to either side of that front foot, stepping back, plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Pausing here, 3 breaths. One more. The bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, and hold. One more breath. Pressing through your feet, lifting up on your quads, standing up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. All right, we're gonna flow through that. That's our Surya Namaskar B. We're gonna flow through it with a breath count. So, feet hips distance apart. Each movement has its own breath. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping it back, chaturanga. Inhale, your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog right away. Right foot steps forward, left foot spins down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, right away, left foot steps forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and pause. One more breath. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Staying all the way up. Exhale, releasing your hands to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Maybe close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. All right. So we're gonna come back to our Malasana squat. Feet slightly wider than hips distance. And sinking your hips down. Again, if you have any knee problems, stay up in that nice goddess pose we had. So hands to heart center. Really thinking of broadening through your collarbone. Shoulder blades are gently pulling together, so you're not yanking them in, but they're gonna kind of come a little closer. Breathing here, pressing through all four corners of your feet. All right, we're gonna add on a little bit. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see me, but you can stay whichever way is comfortable for you. From here, we're gonna place our hands down to the mat, about a foot or so in front of us. Remember how we talked about like the suction cup on our palms and gripping the hands with the mat with our hands? We're gonna do that action now. Your hands should be about shoulder distance apart. We're gonna hinge forward, pressing into your hands, paralleling your legs a little bit towards each other and hugging your knees into your arms, hinging forward so the weight comes into your hands. You can stay right here on your toes or right there in that yogi squat. Maybe you can pick one foot up and place it down. Outer upper arms wrapping in, lifting your left toes up, placing them down, and then coming back into your Malasana squat. So if you haven't figured it out, we're setting up for Bakasana, crow pose. One more breath here. Hands to the floor, hips up and back, forward fold. All right, bend your knees softly, gently roll up. We're gonna do our Surya Namaskar B one more time. Come back to that crow pose one more time, and then I think it'll be about time to cool it down. So, feet hips distance apart, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Inhale here, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Breathing here. One more breath. Bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Utkatasana. Continuing to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. All right, great job. We're gonna do that Bakasana, crow pose one more time. So option to stay with either of the prior options. So again, that would be goddess pose here, our Malasana squat here, or you can begin to play with putting your hands down, lifting your feet off the floor one at a time. Maybe both feet will lift. All right, feet slightly wider than hips distance. Hands can start at your heart, hips sink down, Malasana. So I've said this like 100 times this practice, but outer upper arms are gonna wrap in your triceps, moving in, making the suction cups out of your hands. So really gripping the floor. Hands are coming down to the floor, shoulder distance apart, wrist creases parallel or maybe slightly turned out to the front edge of your mat. You can lift your hips up. Your knees are gonna really squeeze in to your triceps there. You can hinge forward, shoulders will come in front of your hands. Again, lifting one toe, maybe the other. Breathing here. Think of broadening through your collarbone, finding space in your spine. Maybe shooting it back for chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. So no matter which option you were in, go ahead and find your down dog here. Just breathing here. One more breath. Gently bring your knees down to the floor, a little wider than usual, so maybe hit mat's distance. And find your child's pose. One more breath here. Go ahead, walk your hands in. Swing your legs out to one side. We're gonna find Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So the soles of your feet will come together. They can be as close or as far apart to your inner thighs, scales right in your body. Sitting up nice and tall, finding length through your spine. You can think of your tailbone, lengthening back behind you. Sitting up nice and tall. Earlier I sort of mentioned thinking of your pelvis as like a bowl. So if you think of like your front hip points being like the front of it, and then as you move into like triangle pose, your bowl would tip to one side. If you do a forward fold, your front hip points are gonna tip forward. Like if it had soup in it, it would spill out the front. So anyway, sitting up nice and tall here, think of that bowl coming forward, soup spilling out the front, and it might only tilt a very little bit, but we want our spine to stay nice and long and the movement to come from our hips. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our legs wide, so just gently open them up. Again, as far as is comfortable for you. Okay? So trying to find a little engagement in your legs here. Knees can be a little bit bent, toes and knees pointing up towards the sky, lifting up on your quads, sitting up nice and tall. And again, hinging forward slightly. So exhale, walking your hands forward, but that movement's coming from your pelvis, not from your spine. Breathing here. One more breath. Go ahead, inhale, gently sit up. Use your hands to bring your legs back together. And we're going to come down to our backs. So just gently come on down. Excuse me. Starting with a bridge pose like we did at the beginning of our practice, feet hips distance apart and parallel to each other. Use your hands. Go ahead and grip the outer edges of your mat, wrapping your outer arms in. Pressing down evenly through your feet. Inhale, hips up. Using your arms just as much as your feet, so pressing down through your arms, tailbone lengthening, down towards the back of your knees. Collarbone broadens. Gently pressing your shoulder blades in towards your ribs. And on an exhale, lowering it down. We're going to do that 2 more times. You can stay right there with that first option, or exhale, press into your feet. Inhale, lifting your hips up, interlacing your hands, walking your triceps under. So pressing down through your arms, tailbone lengthens. Again, you can think of a block being between your knees so that your knees aren't splaying out to the side. Releasing your hands, walking your shoulder blades back out, lowering it down. Last time, pressing through your feet. Inhale, lifting your hips, clasping your hands. Rory, off. Sorry, looking at my cat. Tailbone lengthening towards the back of your knees, pressing down through your arms. Breathing here. Releasing your hands, gently lowering your hips back to the floor. All right, keeping your left foot right where it is, we're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee. Taking a gentle stretch of our outer hip. Breathing here. This is enough, you can stay right here, or if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can interlace your hands behind your hamstrings or up and over your shin, thinking of that left knee coming right towards your left shoulder. Flexing both feet here. Again, trying to keep your sacrum on the floor so that your spine's not rounding. One more breath. And exhale, release. Other side. Left ankle to right knee. You can stay right here or clasp your hands behind your hamstrings or over your shins, keeping your feet flexed and your low back on the ground. Breathing here. One more breath. Releasing your right foot down to the ground, your left foot. Taking a twist here, we're going to keep our feet hips distance apart and in contact with the ground. So instead of usually we stack our hips on top of each other, this time we're going to let our hips fall over to the, or our knees fall over to the right, but keeping our legs separate. So you're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch through your hip here. Arms can just come out too. Go closer, T, if you have the room for it. One more breath here. Inhaling your knees back up through center and gently allowing them to fall over to the left. Again, keeping your feet hips distance apart so your hips aren't stacked on top of each other, but instead you're getting a nice stretch here through your right hip. One more breath. Inhaling your knees back up through center. Go ahead and hug them into your chest. Maybe taking happy baby here. Rocking from side to side. coming into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. So just finding any position where you can let your body relax and focus on clearing your mind. If it's uncomfortable for you to have your legs flat, you can bend your knees, plant your feet to the floor. Allow your breathing to be natural. Allow your body to just feel heavy, sinking into your mat. Thoughts may pop up into your head, and just acknowledge them and let them go. Just taking a few moments here to really seal in our practice and intentionally clear your mind. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. But when you're ready, just begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Beginning to find tiny movements in your body. And then just gently taking about 15 to 30 seconds. Make your way into a comfortable seated position. We'll take a few breaths together before we complete our practice. Taking a nice deep inhale, scooping your arms out and up. Exhaling your hands down through heart center. Again, nice deep inhale. Exhale, hands moving through heart center. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Namaste. Again, thank you all very much. Again, I hope you had a wonderful practice. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. But thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, my name is Joella.